You see, there's a lot that goes in to being a hot social media content provider. Nothing's real.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that undercover wasn't really happy for his success. And I'm just waiting. He had walked such a straight line.
They do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house to get away from them in their mentorship.
Just a few years ago, Will Smith was untouchable, a global superstar. But now, his reputation is in free fall, and fans aren't just turning away, they're outright done with him.
And I don't care. I don't care. I thought I was gonna die. It was a weird. I always say, like, I have a life like Forrest Gump.
From explosive scandals to public meltdowns, and that unforgettable Oscar moment that still haunts his legacy, Will's carefully crafted image has been shattered.
Only a man knows what a man needs.
Hollywood insiders are whispering that his A-list status may be permanently revoked. So what really happened behind the curtain, and why is Will Smith suddenly the actor nobody wants to work with? Let's get into it. Growing up, Will Smith was one of those actors and artists many of us looked up to. From movies like Men in Black to his upbeat music, he had a fun, positive, and family-friendly image that really stood out. But these days, it feels like things have changed. Now, it seems like a lot of people have turned against Will Smith for all kinds of reasons. Some blame him for not standing up for himself when his wife talked publicly about cheating. Others bring up the moment he slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars. Some think his recent music is just plain corny. Whatever the reason, there's definitely a shift in how the public sees him.
That I cried so hard and so long that the next day felt like I did a gym workout. I was in so much pain.
In the past few years, Will has clearly been trying hard to fix his image. He's been all over social media, doing interviews, and even making new music. But the more he tries, the worse it seems to get. Take his latest single, for example. After nearly 20 years without releasing solo music, he dropped a new song, and it didn't go well.
It's been a problem ever since I was a little boy. Actually, I think it's gotten worse as I've gotten older.
The response was mostly negative. The like-to-dislike ratio online was rough, and fans weren't holding back. Some comments joked that the video looked like a weird coming-out moment. Others called it a Guantanamo playlist track. A few people even described it as a humiliation ritual. On forums, fans pointed out what might be going on. Will seems to be chasing trends, making music for TikTok and younger social media audiences. While some understand that he's just experimenting and having fun, others wish he'd return to the old-school style. Maybe even team back up with DJ Jazzy Jeff. It's clear Will Smith is trying to stay in the spotlight, but whether it's working or not is up for debate. The only problem is, it's just not working. Most of Will Smith's troubles started when he slapped Chris Rock live on stage at the Oscars back in 2022. It happened in front of a huge audience filled with celebrities, and the internet exploded afterward.
Uh-oh, Richard! Oh, wow!
People online said things like, everyone would have forgotten that joke in seconds, but now it'll never be forgotten. What made things even more uncomfortable was when Will sat down afterward and kept shouting from his seat. The slap was shocking, but that part made it even worse. The reason for Will's reaction had to do with his wife, Jada, who has alopecia, a condition that causes hair loss. She had shaved her head because of it, and the joke from Chris Rock hit a nerve.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
Will did apologize quickly, but the damage had already been done. After the incident, several of his upcoming movies were either paused or canceled. The new Bad Boys movie seems to be the only major project he's released since then. It was a huge moment that led to Will stepping back from the spotlight for a while, but ever since his return, it feels like he's been doing everything possible to rebuild his public image. He's been announcing new projects, including a return to music and a collaboration album with rapper Joyner Lucas. Joyner Lucas, the rapper Will teamed up with, already has a bit of a reputation for being kind of corny. So for some fans, this collab didn't feel like the smartest choice. Throughout Will Smith's career, he's also been called corny at times. But back when people loved him, that label didn't really matter. Now though, it's a different story.
All right, I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having with Will.
Let me process that for a second.
Then there was that strange ad he posted for a zombie video game on his YouTube channel. Considering how much money Will has made over the years, fans were confused. It left people wondering why he even did it, unless the paycheck was just too big to turn down.
Looks like you made it through the apocalypse. Welcome. Now, if you want to stay alive, here's what you need to know. And pay attention, because trust me, you need this way more than me.
Still, Will started showing up everywhere. He was doing interviews, freestyles, and getting ready to release a new album. He hyped up the fact that he was putting out his first solo single in 20 years. Alongside all the promo, he also dropped a freestyle with Lyrical Lemonade, but it didn't exactly go over the way he might have hoped.
Yo, what's that word? It's Lotto, and we live with another episode of Lunch Break Freestyle. We got the legend Will Smith at the table today. Let's get into it.
The comments on that freestyle were pretty brutal. One person said, "He raps like an undercover cop." Another joked, "I pulled the pin out of the grenade on purpose when I threw it," mocking one of his lines. People just weren't impressed. On the bright side, though, Charlemagne the God actually liked it, so not all the feedback was bad.
I can't believe you over there hating on your Philly brother, Chris. Yo, Chris, that was fire! That was fire!
In fact, Will even mentioned in an interview that he reached out to Jay-Z and Kendrick Lamar for advice on his album. Since it's been so long since he last made music, he wanted some guidance from the top names in the game.
2 phone calls. I talked to Jay and I talked to Kendrick, and I was like, "Hey, I want to get back in music," and it was like, "What's the advice?"
But unfortunately, the advice from Jay-Z and Kendrick didn't seem to help much, or maybe Will just didn't take it. Another thing that's caught people off guard is who he's been hanging out with lately. He's been building a friendship with YouTuber KSI, and they've been posting a bunch of videos together online. Even more surprising, he's also started collaborating with XQC, which feels totally unexpected and kind of random for someone like Will Smith.
So you've been stuff with XQC.
Yeah, he's fine.
It's pretty clear that Will is using a strategy a lot of younger artists follow, collaborating with influencers, YouTubers, and streamers to stay relevant. But honestly, something like a Kai Cenat stream probably would have made more sense and could have worked better for him. The thing is, Will doesn't really connect with younger audiences the same way others do. That natural chemistry just isn't there when he's around these creators. Still, like we've seen, he's been on a major PR push. He's done what feels like dozens of interviews over the past few months, but instead of helping, it all feels kind of forced and overly planned. And that brings everything back to his latest track, Pretty Girls. With where his public image is right now, his age, and the kind of music people are into these days, this release couldn't have gone worse. It completely backfired.
50
The stimulus plan that you naming is not working today for 50-however-year-old Will Smith.
Even before Pretty Girls, the other songs Will released recently have had a defensive tone, like he's responding to all the criticism around his career. His album, based on a true story, came out in March 2025 and featured some big-name artists, but it didn't make it onto the charts. Some tracks on that album seem very self-aware about where he is in his career. In a song called Barbershop Day, for example, the lyrics include lines like, "Who does Will Smith think he is? That boy crazy. Look how he raised those kids. Will Smith is whack. Him and Jada both crazy." It sounds like he's repeating what critics and the public have been saying about him, almost as if he's trying to confront the negativity head-on. And he's not alone in hearing those kinds of opinions. There are plenty of people who feel that way. When we look at all the interviews he's been doing recently alongside this album cycle, it starts to feel like a pattern. The songs on the album, like Interior Barbershop, come off as defensive, while Pretty Girls feels like he's trying to recapture the old charm from his Fresh Prince days. But to many listeners, it just feels outdated. Overall, it paints a picture of an artist who's struggling to figure out where he fits in today's music world. These songs seem to reflect his insecurities and how all the public backlash has gotten to him. That's why so many people think this new wave of songs, interviews, freestyles, and appearances just doesn't feel real. It feels like he's trying too hard to win people back. But there are some deeper and more understandable reasons why people are reacting differently to Will Smith this time, and why he just isn't as widely liked as he once was. It didn't all start with the Oscar slap. That moment may have triggered the backlash, but the truth runs much deeper.
I've reached out to Chris, and the message that came back is that He's not ready to talk.
To really understand why Will is pushing so hard with this PR campaign, through all the interviews, songs, and public appearances, we need to look at the bigger picture. Will Smith first gained public recognition through hip-hop, but it wasn't long before he made the jump to acting and found massive success. With 4 stars in one family, Will, Jada, Jaden, and Willow, the Smiths were constantly in the spotlight. And while they once seemed like the perfect family, over time, that polished image began to crack. Years of controversy and strange public moments chipped away at Will's once flawless reputation. He went from being a larger-than-life figure to someone many now see as damaged and unpredictable. Back in the 2000s, though, Will was on top of the world. Those were the golden years of his acting career. His movies earned over $3.3 billion at the global box office. He was nominated for 2 Oscars, got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and continued making music, releasing 2 studio albums that peaked at number 13 and number 6 on the Billboard 200. He was living the dream, everything young artists hope for, and for a while he was considered the most bankable star in Hollywood. But then he got entangled in controversies. Will Smith is undeniably one of the biggest names in the industry, and with that comes the territory of people fabricating stories about him to garner public attention. However, amidst various rumors, there hasn't been a single accusation of robbery or anything as scandalous as public urination against the actor. Yet, the persistent rumor that he might be interested in men continues to circulate. This is no coincidence, and ordinarily, such claims might be easily dismissed. However, what complicates Will's situation is the existence of a paper trail supporting these assertions about him. While this trail of rumors has originated from various sources over the years, spanning from some of the most prominent celebrities in the industry to ordinary individuals who have been on set or around the actor, it's now someone from the actor's romantic past who is revealing insights into his true self. First, let's talk about Bryshera Gray, aka Yaz the Greatest, has had one heck of a roller coaster ride, going from making big bucks to landing in jail not once but twice. You probably recognize him as an actor and rapper from the States, but lately he's been making headlines not just for his talent, but also for his ties to Will Smith. But is Will feeling any regret about that whole situation?
Artists in the world have done some of the best work of their career. And the idea that they might be denied because of me.
Gray alleges that his career took a downturn after encountering Will Smith, which isn't entirely surprising given Smith's reputation with both men and women. Rumors suggesting a romantic connection between them have circulated, potentially contributing to Gray's professional decline, with Will and Jada Pinkett Smith openly discussing their relationship dynamics, including being open to emotional connections regardless of gender. Gray becoming one of Will's romantic interests wouldn't be groundbreaking news.
My man Charlie Mack, so Charlie was with me every step of the way, first out the limo. So Charlie has been with me, 30 years coming up in the business. So
the speculation arises. Could the reluctance of Chris to pursue legal action against Will Smith be linked to Smith's alleged influential backers? Many speculate that Smith wields considerable power in Hollywood, potentially stemming from undisclosed activities. Persistent rumors have circulated for some time, suggesting that Smith engaged in rituals for gaining power, including involvement in homos activities. Such claims have been echoed by individuals like Jaguar Wright, further fueling speculation about Smith's connections and influence in the industry.
Both buy, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship.
Perhaps if it were solely Jaguar Wright making the claim, we could dismiss it as just one of many allegations. However, the opening clip reveals that even someone as intimately connected to Will Smith as his former assistant and friend, Bilal, has stepped forward with additional damning details.
And then I saw that I walked in on.
Who'd you walk in on?
Him and Dwayne Martin.
Okay.
Hollywood is the hurry up and wait game.
It's possible that Jada's decision to distance herself from Will Smith could be related to these revelations. In case you haven't heard, Jada Pinkett Smith recently opened up about the challenges in her marriage to Will Smith. In a preview for an NBC News and Today show special tied to her upcoming memoir, Worthy, the Set It Off star disclosed that she and Will Smith have been living separately since 2016, even though they continue to present a united front during public appearances. Speculation surrounding their relationship began to escalate in 2016, particularly after a notable incident during the Oscars. That year, Chris Rock famously actually included Jada Pinkett Smith in his monologue, revealing that she had asked him to step down as host because her husband, Will Smith, hadn't been nominated for Best Actor for his role in Concussion.
Jada's mad her man, Will, was not nominated for Concussion. I get it. Tell the truth. I get it. You get mad? She said it's not fair.
Both Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith chose to boycott the ceremony, along with many other prominent figures in Hollywood, in response to the perceived lack of diversity in the nominations, which had sparked the viral hashtag #OscarsSoWhite. However, Rock disregarded Jada's request and, while hosting the Oscars, made a joke at her expense. But Jada had something else to tell. Jada made it clear that the 2016 Oscars incident was resolved through a mutual apology during a phone call. According to her, she later realized the immense pressure Chris Rock must have been under. She was not really recognizing the level of pressure Chris might have been under at the time. I probably should have called him and gone, "Hey, are you okay? And just know that although I'm speaking out about the Oscars, I do wish you the best. And I just want you to know that me taking the time to have called him and said that, just to touch base." But his feelings might have been hurt. Pinkett Smith said that after the 2016 Oscars joke, Rock apologized and I apologized to him as well. So I actually thought that we were good, that the hatchet was buried between us, and we hadn't talked since then until 2022 came. Pinkett Smith claimed she also received an apology from Rock after the 2022 Oscars altercation. Now this attracted the public's attention that immediately after slapping one can issue an apology also. The people have been speculating that this is all because of the power Will Smith holds. One person on the internet wrote, "If this didn't happen, I wouldn't even know about Oscar today." Well, his control is not only limited to the industry, but on his wife too. After their initial rift, Jada and Chris talked it out during the call, and Jada believed the matter was settled. Yet, following the 2016 Oscars incident, rumors about Jada and Will Smith's potential divorce began circulating. In an unexpected turn of events, Chris Rock reportedly asked Jada out on a date. She shared this revelation with People, believing that the situation had been resolved at that point. She described how every summer reports would circulate about her and Will Smith getting a divorce. She said, "Every summer all the reports would come out that me and Will were getting a divorce." However, in that same year, Jada and Will were not residing together, and this revelation has recently come to light, as Jada herself has openly discussed it, fueling the growing speculation that she and Chris were involved in something during that period.
2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was...
In a revealing interview with Hoda Kotb, Jada Pinkett Smith disclosed that she and her husband Will Smith have been leading entirely separate lives since 2016. This power couple, who married in 1997, have previously acknowledged their periods of separation and marital challenges, but never in such candid terms. While not legally divorced, Pinkett Smith explained to Kotb in a video snippet released on Today that their situation essentially mirrors a divorce in every aspect except the paperwork. Kotb remarked, "It was not a divorce on paper, but it was a divorce," a sentiment Pinkett Smith confirmed. She further revealed that they live separately. Pinkett Smith elaborated on why they never formally announced their separation. "I think just not being ready yet. Still trying to figure out between the two of us how to be in partnership, right? And in regards to how do we present that to people, you know? And we hadn't figured that out." Now fans have swiftly jumped to the conclusion that her separation from Will was linked to her close relationship with Chris, given that she apparently resolved the issue with a simple phone call. One person wrote, "Please don't look to others as couples' goals. You don't know why they got together. You don't know what they go through. You don't know why they left. Just focus on being healthy and having healthy relationships for yourself." Recent reports have brought forth a different angle, suggesting that their relationship may have been strained by alleged extramarital affairs involving Will with both men and women. Surprising allegations surrounding Will Smith's connections with multiple individuals throughout his career have surfaced, sparking intense interest and discussions. The adage, "where there's smoke, there's fire," comes to mind, indicating that there may be some truth behind the rumors. Will Smith himself has contributed to the intrigue by revealing his desire for escapism from his marriage, adding another layer to the situation.
Yeah.
And we decided...
I was done with your ass.
Yeah, you kicked me to the curb.
I was done with you.
The journey began with the release of the timeless comedy drama 6 Degrees of Separation, in which Will Smith delivered a captivating performance as a charming swindler. The film garnered significant attention when reports surfaced that a kissing scene between Smith and his co-star Anthony Michael Hall had been unexpectedly omitted from the final cut. This omission sparked speculation. Was the acclaimed actor deliberately avoiding the kiss to evade potential potential scrutiny of his own These rumors have endured over time, shrouding the truth in mystery.
That Will Smith is bisexual and that they do this.
Additionally, in a 2020 interview, Will contradicted his previous statements about not fully immersing himself in the character, asserting that he wholeheartedly embraced the method acting approach for 6 degrees of separation.
You train your mind through blocking out Will and only living as the character.
In a recent development, Tisha Campbell has made allegations that Will Smith was involved in extramarital relationships with her former spouse, Dwayne Martin. She shared an image regarding this matter on Instagram. In her post, Tisha highlighted that the truth always comes out in the end, regardless of how many lies are told. This prompted one of her followers to reply, "Thank you, even though they lie in the end." Tisha responded to this comment by saying, "And you're right, they will lie till the end. The real kiki is people will stop believing them." Tisha's decision to capitalize Will raised suspicions that she might be indirectly referencing Will and Jada in her post. Many quickly speculated that this could imply an alleged affair between Will and Tisha's former spouse, Dwayne Martin, who also happens to be a close friend of the Gemini Man actor. It seems like Will Smith's unconventional displays of affection with Jaden might have roots tracing back to none other than the legendary Quincy Jones. This iconic producer, known for his decades-long career and deep ties within the entertainment world, has seen it all. Quincy has never been shy about spilling the tea on some of Hollywood's best-kept secrets, calling out the missteps and hidden sides of celebrities. In a jaw-dropping interview with Vulture, Quincy dropped a bombshell, revealing that big names like James Baldwin, Richard Pryor, and Marvin Gaye were queer. And when it came to Marlon Brando, he didn't hold back either. He was the most charming MF you ever met. He'd F anything. He'd F a mailbox. James Baldwin, Richard Pryor, Marvin Gaye. So, is this really the fall of Will Smith? From Hollywood royalty to public controversy, his story has taken a turn no one saw coming. Or maybe everyone did. With fans divided, studios hesitant, and his once bulletproof brand now riddled with scandal, the future looks anything but certain. Redemption might still be possible, but the clock is ticking, and the industry doesn't wait for anyone, not even the Fresh Prince. One thing's for sure, if this is the end of Will Smith's reign, it's going down in a blaze of drama, headlines, and one hell of a cautionary tale. Stay tuned, because this saga, it's far from over. That's it for today. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.